On to you, Virgos. You have the Queen of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Temperance, Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ace of Wands, and you have the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups. You see how dedicated I am? I'm wearing black in this heat. This is the last time I'm gonna wear this color for the rest of the summer, though. Don't ask me. It's warm. But so for you, Virgos, right? The Queen of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Swords. A lot of you Virgos pretty much have a lot of options. Because of the fact that a lot of you Virgos are free agents, you're not with anybody. A lot of you, some of you might be, but a lot of you are not with anybody. The Queen of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune represents the people who you freed yourself from, people who try to use you for whatever it is that they use you for, right? So it's very much so you Virgos being quite free from the idea that just because you're of service, that people try to make you into a perpetual servant, right? Instead of a servant that's just here to complete a service. Once it's done, and you pretty much have to pay for another service again, right? Manual labor, right? Being a merchant, right? Providing value, providing a service, and then if you want to pay for it, great. If you don't, great. But people forget that, and they try to make you into a perpetual servant because you do it so well. But then you have the Nine of Swords, which represents you Virgos. Now that a lot of you Virgos are pretty much free from people who have that type of mentality, because you're by yourself. You're by yourself. The Nine of Swords very much so represents you kind of being on the lookout for people who are going to try to do that to you again, because you're not going back to that. Like, for some odd reason, when it comes to Virgos, people look at us like we owe them something. And it really goes to show you where a lot of people's dysfunction is coming from, or part of it. But the Hanged Man and the Temperance now represents, so and people will scapegoat you because of the fact that they can't get you the way that they want you, which is basically as a toy, as an action figure. They want to be able to take you out of the box, play with you for a little bit, and then put you back in the box, pretty much. Because the Hanged Man and the Temperance represents, honestly speaking, people don't know where it is that they're going with Virgos, really. To be quite honest, they don't know where it is that they're going with you. They don't know if they're 1 minute they got you figured out, then the next minute they want to use you for money, but then they get sad when you go away. But then when you go away, they come around expecting you to not be awake, not be aware of them and the nonsense that they're on, and they have a problem with you. They don't know they're just all over the place. They don't know what they got going on. They know that they don't like you, but they can't explain why they don't like you, right? Justifiably. There's a lot of discombobulation. There's a lot of being all over the place. There's a lot of people being quite not really sure as to what they have a problem with. And see, because of that is also your protection, because it really goes to show you Virgos that for the most, I'm not saying all the time, but I want to say, to be fair about it, let's say half the times, people don't know what they're even so mad about. When it comes to them being mad, they're just mad, and it's like, and they're directing it at you who don't necessarily even deserve it. But it goes to show you that you were right about them the whole time. You can't deal with these people. These people aren't even equipped enough to be healthy enough to know that they shouldn't be directing their anger towards you. So And a lot of you Virgos know this. So the Queen of Swords represents, but you have to try to not allow yourselves to take that out on other people, because you Virgos do have a point that people are way off for the most part. Most of the times when you meet people and you Virgos engage with them and they call themselves trying to get to know you, a lot of people have problems really getting to know you, because it's always the stereotype that they're imprinting on you, that you Virgos gotta be cheated. You gotta be slick talking them. You don't really mean what it is that you're saying. And it's like all this stuff that's uncalled for. So the thing about it is that the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Wands now represents, so as a result of this, it just represents how a lot of you Virgos are done. So what does this have to do with anything, right? Like, I'm speaking about situations from the past. I honestly see that a lot of you Virgos are single. And a lot of you Virgos, you're single because you've met people in the past. You've tried it with them. They're dysfunctional. They don't know whether or not they're coming or going. I just explained to you. People don't know whether they dislike you, like you, what they, they have a problem with you, but they can't state what the problem is. They're so far gone down that rabbit hole. They are completely unaware of what's going on. And because of this, because of people's cognitive dissonance, as they're in a relationship with you, even if they're not in something very strong, you're just getting to know them, it's still too much. So you Virgos and these people, you ended up not really being together because of that fact. So as a result of this, you Virgos end up being like, oh, okay, cool. Well, okay, cool. That's the case. It is what it is. You ain't got to be with them. So now you have the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups. Now that you're not with them anymore, the Eight of Cups, again, you're not with them anymore. Now people see your value. But it's like, here you are as the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is a conglomeration of Taurus and Virgo, by the way. So you did show up in your own reading. It's about how you're choosing to be mysterious, dark, your darker nature, because Virgo is actually on it. Virgo is a dark zodiac sign, right? You have light zodiac signs and you have dark zodiac signs. Virgos, and I'm a Virgo myself. Virgo is a dark zodiac sign. So a lot of you are very much so choosing to leave people in the dark. All of those people that didn't want you in the past, you have allowed them to do them. They didn't want to hang out with you. They didn't like you. It is what it is. You don't have to be in their life. So what did you do? You left them alone. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the High Priestess. So a lot of you Virgos are very much so single, living your life how you want to. Not saying that you're not looking, but as of right now, you're single because so many people seem to have a problem with you. So you let those people have a problem with you wherever they are. But to clarify the High Priestess, you have the Two of Swords, the Moon. This is what I'm talking about. The Lovers and the Six of Cups. This is what I'm talking about. What does the Moon represent? Ghosting everybody. Just as it is, I said, with the whole High Priestess thing. Remaining single, remaining mysterious and single. But the Two of Swords and the Moon represents, and this is where a lot of the problems come into play for other people, because they don't know what you Virgos got going on, namely your exes. But then they're wondering, and this is the confusion of what I'm talking about. Yet again, Virgo, the idea that when you're in relationships with these people, as you're getting to know these people, whether it's just starting out, full-blown relationship, even marriage, they don't know what they want from you, Virgos. They have a problem with you. They ruin their own life. They ruin their own relationship with you, Virgos. You give them what they try to fight and scratch for, which is to end the relationship with you because you're so bad people. And then now it's like this. Then when they wreck their life, they come back now thinking to themselves, they should have actually worked it out with you, and how dysfunctional they were because of the fact that they couldn't relax. They couldn't relax their ego. They couldn't tell their ego to calm down. And most people, and do they ever actually learn their lesson? Most of the times, no.